Good afternoon, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching as always. The Greens have a new MP. I predicted this would happen earlier this week, and I also predicted some of the reasons why this happened because of the launch of Restore Britain. I want to get into the weeds a little bit with this video and actually discuss a few of the nuances, and like and subscribe if you like what you hear. The first thing we need to do is compare like for like compared to this election and my election that was Runcorn and Helsby that fell to Reform UK last year. The turnouts are roughly similar. There was a 47% turnout in this election that Hannah Spencer from the Green Party won. And in my particular seat, Runcorn and Helsby, there was a 46% turnout and it fell to Sarah Poacher in Reform UK. There's a few things as a Reform UK voter who will be voting Restore when they become viable and a Restore Britain member that I want to say from the grassroots point of view. A lot of the core demographic and the core vote that Reform UK was courting has gone cold on Reform. They are pandering to the centre ground, they've taken a lot of ex-Conservatives, they are rejecting local candidates selected by their branches, and a lot of people are turned off by this. All of this is true. I can report on this from Runcorn, and I'm sure it's the same in a lot of places across the Wall. There is a Islamic vote and an Islamic vote bloc in Manchester, so that was galvanised for the Greens, and that's not being disputed. Two things can be true. They should have took this seat, and that is Reform UK should have took this seat in Gorton and Denton. There's still a heck of a lot of people that didn't vote, and they didn't bother to vote. They only put on about 5,000 votes compared to the general election in 2024 in this seat. Now, as I say, in my particular seat, they put on a heck of a lot of more votes. Now, what's actually happened in the meantime is, as I say, there's been a collapse of morale and a collapse in the grassroots. Now, in terms of the stances that Reform UK has, they've been very good on rhetoric, hardline rhetoric, appealing to the base. But when we look at the substance and look at what the policies were actually going to be, they're very middle of the road. They're not very extreme and they're not as radical as many on the right would like. And that has hurt them, and that has hurt them significantly, which has left space on the right flank for Restore Britain. They cannot be all things to all people. They have to pick a side. Now, clearly the Green Party, the loonies in the Green Party, have picked a side, and that is the hard left. The people on the right need to pick a side, and that's why Restore Britain has become a thing. If you look at some of the choices that Nigel Farage has made since the general election in 2024, like picking Muslim candidates for London and other places, like Zaya Yusuf as a potential Home Secretary, this is going down like a lead balloon with many on the right, and I am one of them, and I will say this here. Then we look at some of the clips that Matt Goodwin put out recently, talking about demographic change, talking about the shifting demographic of Britain, and the fact that native British people will be a minority in our own country by 2063. In the first video I'm going to play, Reform UK, the chairman David Bull is distancing himself from these comments. This is from a clip earlier on today on Sky News, so I'm going to play this clip now.
To give him credit, he was fantastic. He worked so hard. He was out in all weathers for every single day of that campaign. He had a local connection as chairman. I want everyone to have a local connection with the constituency they stand in. He is an academic. He, I think it's fair to say, made some interesting comments, which I have had discussions with him about.
Which ones in particular did you talk to him?
Well, lots of things, for example, about what it means to be British, for example, came up a lot.
Well, he said that you can't be basically black or brown and be British.
I don't think it...
No. Reform UK aren't saying that, Restore Britain aren't even saying that. This is typical smears and hack work from Sky News, looking to appeal to the normies that may not be looking at the detail. Not even Restore Britain is saying that. That's a disgusting lie.
I didn't quite say that.
What did he say?
Well, this is what the bit I can't quite understand. But the point was
Said being British is more than a piece of paper. He also said that people who aren't white can't always be English.
yeah,
Well, that's different, and again, you're conflating things there, alright? British and English are different things. British and Scotland are different things as well, alright? Englishness is an ethnicity, so Scottishness, it is an ethnicity. And that was pretty much understood pre-1948 in the United Kingdom. Scotland, England, Wales and Ireland, all separate, united under one banner and one name, British citizen, and the Union Jack. Alright? And it just so happens that the indigenous people of Britain were white. That is incidental. They try and make it the point. It's not. It's merely incidental.
I didn't understand his reasoning, but the whole point was that it wasn't Reform Party policy anyway. The point is that
You're stepping away from that idea of...
Sorry, am I?
You're disowning it, yeah, for reform.
Yes, I am, absolutely.
So that's the first thing. As I say, you've got the higher-ups from Reform UK. They distance themselves from the more extreme rhetoric that they've been using, even though the policy has never met the rhetoric anyway from people like Matt Goodwin. So that's the first thing. Then you got a lot of people in Reform UK, like Matt Goodwin, actually putting out complaints that they saw what's known as family voting in the Gorton and Denton By-Election. That is basically block Islamic voting by elders in the religion, taking groups of people in and making them vote a particular way, or that's the idea, that it's some form of coercion, that people aren't independent-minded enough to make the vote themselves in certain communities. So a very backward way of doing things. You've got a lot of people in Reform UK, the high-ups, complaining about this after pandering or trying to pander to that block vote in the past year or so, with appointments of Elite Yusuf and Layla Cunningham, amongst other people. And who can forget this clip, this oldie but goodie, from Nigel Farage.
It is. We have a Muslim population in Britain growing by about 75% every 10 years. Right? That's just where we are.
Mm-hmm.
If we politically alienate the whole of Islam, we will lose. We'll lose.
So how does one include
We will lose. By 2050, goodness knows what kind of a terrible state we're going to be in.
So we've got Nigel Farage pandering to an invasive religion that is alien to the United Kingdom. And this is the thing, when you're trying to be all things to all people, nobody is happy. The grassroots that gave Reform UK their MPs in 2024 is certainly not happy. And the Islamic vote is not voting for you. So you cannot be all things to all people. I think we are seeing the implosion of Reform UK in real time. I think they're going to continue to cleave to the centre ground, when that is not the antidote that Britain is looking for. If you look at Restore Britain, they've put out a policy based on what's happened in Gorton and Denton, saying they will end political Islam in the United Kingdom. Very staunch, very hard line, and they won't compromise on it. This is their policy. So on the one hand you'll have the Green Party, and on the other hand you'll have Restore Britain. That is the way I see the next general election playing out, in all fairness. Centrism is over, Blairism is over. So we're going to end these here. Do you think I'm right with my assessment of what's going on in Gorton and Denton? Do you think I'm being overly harsh on Reform UK? Do you think I'm being exceedingly polite on the Greens? We need to pick a side. That's what politics is all about. If there's minorities in the country that are playing sectarian politics and voting in blocks, then the largest demographic in the United Kingdom, which happens to be the white British, should be doing the same. And we should all be getting behind a party that we think can give us the results that we need at the next election. As always, open discourse, open debate on this channel. Comment below if you think I'm right, comment below if you think I'm wrong. Like and subscribe, do all that good stuff. And let me know, are you still voting Reform UK? Are you still voting for Labour or the Tories? They seem to be a bit of a non-entity now, Labour and Tories. Nobody's voting for them at all. Interesting times. Have a good day.